Like, what would being 20 pounds, 5 pounds, 10
Yeah.
pounds lighter mean? And then you get a real why,
Right.
right? And then attached to those whys, you have to unpack what are the habits. So if you want to lose 20 pounds, what habits would a person, because sometimes they do actually need to lose 20
Yes.
pounds to be healthy.
Yeah.
So it's not always a bad thing to need to lose weight. I do
Yes.
believe that as well. But what are the habits that a person 20 pounds lighter than you are would have to do to
Right.
maintain that?
Right.
We talked about the maintain, but
Yeah.
to actually live and function and be optimal in that space.
Right.
And if you're not willing to do those things from this day forward, maybe your why is not a real why, a deep enough why. But if you unpack it and you realize, you know what, I need to be 20 pounds lighter because I can't run with my kids,
Yeah.
or I don't feel comfortable at the pool in my bathing suit. I feel shame.
Yes.
And that's where holistically, that's not okay.
Welcome to Coming Into Focus. I am your host, Helen Tansey. Melissa, I am so excited that you're here. Thank you. I know you came in from London, Ontario, and that's a big drive, and I so appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So we spoke this week just to sort of do like a little check-in, and we decided that we were just going to have a conversation.
Yes.
And even though I have some notes, it's just in case I forget anything, but we're just going to sort of freestyle and just share and have just like a beautiful conversation.
Love it.
Okay. So before we start, I would love if you could just let our listeners know a little bit about you and what it is that you do.
So I am I guess, fitness professional. It's always an interesting question to answer. I'm all things health and wellness. So I do holistic nutrition coaching. I do personal fitness coaching. I competed in bodybuilding, so I had my pro figure. I do, that's pretty much what I do.
That's pretty much what you do. And do you mind me asking how old you are?
I'm going to be 47 on Tuesday.
And how do you feel like with aging? Like, is it something that it freaks you out, or you're like, oh, this is great? Like, do you have any like?
I think it's an honor to age.
Yeah.
I'm a big celebrator of birthdays. I think that you should just be thankful for being able to get another year.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So you and I met on Instagram.
Yes.
Right? We were just talking about that. And one of the things I was thinking on my drive here, that I started following you because I just find you so inspiring.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. And part of that is that I feel that you embody everything about health, like the physical part, the nutrition, not using plastics and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Also the mental, and sprinkled in there a little bit of spiritual, but you sort of encompass all of it. And what I loved about even your platform on Instagram, when you share pictures of yourself, like they're not contrived, like there's just this real sort of organic way that you present yourself that I find is so refreshing.
Wow.
But when I look at you, I'm just curious, is like fitness something that has always been a part of your life? Or is it something that sort of started later on?
So fitness I've always been athletic. So
Okay.
I'm 5'11".
Yeah.
I'm coordinated, and just being tall as a kid, I made the teams, and I did play pretty competitive volleyball and basketball just until when I graduated, I actually went into the fashion industry. So I worked in fashion. First and foremost, I studied PR and marketing.
Oh.
So the fitness that I embody today is probably because I experienced and lived the polar opposite of what fitness and wellness is.
Right.
So I was very skinny fat, I call it.
Yeah.
And so,
That's me.
No, it's not in the sense of the mindset though. Like, and I think that it's so refreshing to help people focus on what they want to gain instead of focusing on losing. So in fashion, it was about losing weight. It was about losing 1 more pound, to land the gig or whatnot. Yeah. And in the position that I was director of PR and marketing, where I was selecting the models for the runway shows, and we were looking for a hanger. And at that time, because that's what I was surrounded with rather, that's what you aspire to be. You are what you surround yourself with.
Yes.
At the time I was living and working in China, in Shanghai, and I knew that the day came that I was going to move back to Canada. And I also knew in my mind that I was going to transition into fitness. I didn't know how, but I knew that that's
How did you know that?
Because my body didn't match my athlete inside of it.
Okay.
So my first tag and that sort of launched my career as a fitness coach was unleash your athlete within.
Okay.
And I really do believe that everyone has an athlete within them.
Mm-hmm.
And when people think athlete, they think, oh, you're fit and buff. No, an athlete is a mindset.
Okay.
And so everyone does something well in life. So if you're corporate and you are a corporate athlete, you execute your 9 to 5, but your health is non-existent.
Yes.
Right? So that athlete mindset can then, transition into taking care of the body that's going to take you through life.
Right.
So coming from China back into Toronto, I transitioned into advertising. I worked Wolf Advertising. That's a grind.
Yeah.
And I actually got a part-time job as a receptionist at Premier Fitness.
Oh.
Because I wanted a free membership.
Yeah, I love that.
And it was the hot spot gym.
Yep.
And met a lot of people and just got my body into shape. And people started asking, like, what are you doing? And so I started teaching a group fitness class in the evenings, still going 9 to 5 in my suit, advertising, and then coming and teaching a class. And then
what was the class?
So it was like a boot camp class.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then went back. People in class asked me if I did one-on-one coaching, and I went back to school and got my certifications for PT. So I would do a couple morning clients before the office, go to work, come back, teach a class. And then I got to a point where I was like, why am I putting my heels on when, I could wear Nikes for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
And it was really what I was born to do.
Yeah.
And so I made the full-time, I made the transition to fully move into fitness.
Yeah.
Again, constantly going back to school, added culinary arts to the resume, just because I love food. And just, when people think that it's unfortunate that people think that when you eat healthy food, you're on a diet.
Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So eating ultra processed food, eating non-foods is not a diet.
Yeah.
And so adding that in, did some, meal prep, and then went back to school again to get my holistic nutrition, which just really focuses on health from the inside out.
Yeah.
And mixed in there, I did my first fitness competition just to
why not?
Because I actually saw my first coach compete, and he won Mr. Canada bodybuilding show.
Okay.
And I watched him on stage, and it was just so amazing what your body is capable of if you apply strategy and discipline.
Yes.
And so I thought to myself, I could do that.
Yeah.
And so he trained me and coached me for my first show, and I won. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then did another one and actually represented Canada in the Naturals over in Spain as a highlight of that journey. And that opened up doors to opportunities where supplement companies wanted to sponsor me.
Yeah.
And in fitness world, sponsoring means you get a free tub of protein.
Right.
But then when we would have a conversation, they met my marketing mind, because that was my background from the fashion industry. And they're like, oh, wow, like you kind of have a brain that goes with this.
Yes.
And that led into opportunities to actually develop products. And so currently now I do have like a supplement and health food shop. And that's just another branch of holistic health.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. So there's so many questions going through my head because
that was a lot. Sorry.
No, I love it. I love it. But one of the things when you were saying is like about when we were growing, I'm older than you, but it was about being skinny.
Yes.
Right? And the skinnier, the better.
Yes.
And even even now I find like there's a shift, we're going to get into that, the shift that's happening. But it was sort of the skinnier you are, the better it was. I found it always really challenging because I'm the same height as you.
Yes.
And so I would be where my girlfriends were always shorter and they'd be like, oh my God, I gained weight. I'm 115 pounds. And I'm like, I could never be 100.
I was born 150.
Right?
That's
Like
my left leg.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I think that's where the scale started being like, well, wait a second, like I don't weigh 115 pounds. And I always thought that I was bigger because I would step on the scale and be like, let's say 132 or 135 or whatever it is. And it was like a number, like really screwed with my head, that number on the scale.
Interesting.
Yeah. And we'll get into that. I know we'll talk about, because we talk about how scales can be healthy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
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 It's interesting because I remember I never think of myself as tall until I meet or I see a tall woman and I'll walk past her up to her and we're looking eye to eye. So I'm like, oh, wow, I am tall. Yeah. But I remember wanting to be 5'9.5" because Cindy Crawford was 5'9.5".
Yes.
And then I got to 5'9". I was like, oh, Mama was there. And it was 5'9". Oh, I'm still there. Yeah. And then Gabby Reese. Yes. She is just, and she still
is. 6 whatever. Like 6, yeah.
But she also just was so inspiring because that's when I saw like a strong female physique is beautiful.
Yes.
And I think that is why I loved competing. And that's why I love like muscle on frames, men and women. I just think that the discipline it takes to body build.
Yeah.
So everyone is a bodybuilder. You just have, I guess, different strategy or building supplies or, you know, it really boils down to discipline. Like I believe that anything is possible. And if you align yourself with, you know, good coaching and you are committed until you accomplish it, not when you feel like quitting. And you celebrate what you're gaining. Yeah. It's a lifelong privilege and journey that you should always have. Yes. There should never be a maintenance program. I don't believe in that.
What's a maintenance program?
Well, you'll have so if someone's losing weight, they'll lose weight and they're like, oh, I'm on a maintenance program. Meaning that they've lost enough weight, so I just want to stay here. Yeah. Or someone might gain and they're like, I'm on a maintenance program. Right. Right? So there's no such thing as maintenance. Yeah. Because you're either building or you're you know in atrophy.
You're losing it.
You're losing it. Yes. So I think that muscle is our longevity organ. Yes. And that's a catchphrase that is great that I hope that we do dive into. But just that, you know, building muscle is how you keep your bone density. It's how you keep your metabolism so that you can eat more calorie, not less calorie. Right. And so, someone can be like what we said, like skinny fat and have no energy. That's right. Me. Yeah. Yeah. So why do you say that?
Oh, because I'm skinny fat. Because I'm thin, but I have like, you know, it's like middle section, like it's, you know, softer and all that sort of stuff. And yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
But I do want to talk about Peter Attia. Yes. Because I have his book. I didn't read it. I listened to it because
it's a lot. It's meaty.
It's a lot. Yes. Right. And it's dense. The information is dense. So I found listening to it, I was able to absorb it. It changed. It was a game changer. Okay. And I remember telling to my husband to listen to it. And he was, my eldest son dives and he deep dives. So he was getting certified. So they were there doing it. And he called me 3 times going, thank you for, you know, recommending this to me. And I think what Peter Attia did, and I think now Stacy Sims and Huberman, it's sort of shifting that. How do you want to age? Who do you want to be when you're 60, 70, 80? Yes. And what are you doing now? Yes. And looking at sort of the longevity. And what I've realized, like when my dad passed at 70, and he was so healthy, like he was a runner, all this sort of stuff. And unfortunately, he got ill, and then he had a fall, and within 3 months, he was gone. Yes. But what I realized with watching him was that it's not about how long we live, it's about the quality of our life.
Absolutely.
and seeing the quality of his life diminish and him not being able to do those things that he loved, like running and, and he was just such a healthy person. It was really sort of like, wow. Like, and I think of that now with Peter Attia's book and Stacey Sims, is that if we can do the work now, we can sort of have agency in how we want to age.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, there's always things that are going to happen that are out of our control.
Yep.
But realizing, like, and even the weight, and I love what Peter T in the book, he didn't really touch much on diet. It was more sort of, the fitness part of it, but just how even fitness, it's what you were saying, like the bone density, sleep, even like dementia, like all these things that lifting weights does for us.
Yes.
That we never knew before.
Yes. Our bodies are made to move.
Yes.
Like exercise is not something you have to do. You get to do it.
Yes.
And I know that sounds cliche, gratitude and whatnot, but exercise, there are so many studies that show that exercise is the most effective antidepressant.
Yes.
Over any prescription you can ever take and numb yourself out with.
Yeah.
That it is. And so Peter Attia's book talks about health 2.0 being that, why is it that a physician doesn't say or prescribe exercise before an antidepressant medicine?
Yes.
And so we have to take responsibility for our health and wellness and not give that agency to your doctor or even a coach. Like you have to, this is the only one we get.
Yes.
We get one of them.
Yeah.
Right? We get one body for one life. And
And then you realize as you get older that you've sort of like, oh, like I've been abusing this body. It's time to sort of shift and start to take care of it.
Yes.
So with Peter Attia, he did a round table. And one of the things he asked some of the members, I can't remember their names, but he said, why is it that we know that we should be working out, but we don't? You do. And there are a lot of people but a lot of people don't, where it's like, oh, I'm too tired or I'll leave it. Like, what is that?
This could go on everyone has a different excuse. It's an excuse.
It's an excuse.
It's an excuse, and it's a conditioned excuse because your doctor doesn't ask you.
Right.
How often do you work out? You know what? Before I write this prescription, you have to move your body every day for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Then come back to me.
Yeah.
Do that for 30 days. Then come back to me and we'll have this discussion again.
Yes.
They don't do that because they don't get paid to do that.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
So that fact is known.
Yeah.
And so people, I think, it's hard. It's discipline.
It's discipline.
It's discipline. And unfortunately, we don't have a class in high school on discipline.
No.
They don't even have to do phys ed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why I love what I found with Peter T. And again, with you, when I follow you, it's like those people that are so inspirational, inspire you to do more. Stacey Sims is one of those, like Stacey Sims, like sort of doing her circuit. What I love about her is that she has said that a lot of fitness and nutrition and protein of when to eat not is sort of been through the eyes of men. And she was saying, like, for women, it's different. So if you do a workout, she said men, should have protein within an hour. She says that women should have it within half an hour. So it's kind of shifting it a little bit to, and just about women's health, about the importance of working out and the importance of muscle. Can we talk about that a little bit? Because it is a shift from, I would say the shift has just been the last 5 years about women and muscle.
Absolutely. And again, it's the arena in which you surround yourself with.
Right.
Right? So if you are having a conversation with someone who's never experienced the hormonal balancing that having muscle on your body achieves, then they're not going to advocate for that because they've never felt it.
Right.
So I always say, like, once you feel it, that transformation, that becomes a non-negotiable to you.
Right.
Right. So, when I'm coaching a client or even with myself, like, oftentimes we'll be like, wow, like, you're really a disciplined person. Or you're really, you got strong willpower. It's actually like, I have really strong habits. We are creatures of habit.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't take discipline every day. It takes establishing keystone habits that are going to give you your best return on investment.
Yeah.
That's what I look for. So sort of like when you were talking about like do the hard thing first.
Yeah.
If you do the hard thing first, then the little things fall into place.
Yes.
But so many times we do all the things that don't matter and never attack the thing that matters.
Yeah.
So exercise being that.
Yes.
Right? And people can, dialogue, especially with women, speaking about menopause and all the things that we're supposed to feel during menopause. I'm sorry, I don't buy it.
Yeah.
I don't buy it because if you have that dialogue and you're just focused on the fact of, oh, if you have brain fog or if you feel this or if you're not looking at, well, what are your daily habits and could they be contributing to those symptoms?
Yes.
Because those symptoms fall under a lot of things. One being, do you sleep?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I haven't been sleeping because, I'm menopausal. Really? When did you turn your phone off?
Yeah.
Did you work out today?
Yes.
When was your last coffee? How much protein did you eat? So what I've learned—
So more accountability instead
absolutely.
of,
It's not easy. It's a decision. It's hard. It takes discipline. It takes making certain things like non-negotiable.
Yes. Yes.
Because when you do that, you gain confidence in yourself. So self-discipline is the only way that you can be confident.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're not letting someone else say, you need to do that or you should do that. It's like, I've done this. I feel the difference. I know this works. Journal that. So that's where you can't monitor what you don't measure. And that kind of goes into like the scale, right?
Yes.
So I totally agree. Besides someone that potentially works in the industry could look at you and say, you weigh, they have no idea how much you weigh.
Yeah.
And so when a client comes in and says, discussing what their fitness goals are, whether it's a nutrition or whatnot, they'll often have a goal of, I want to lose 20 pounds.
Right.
First question would be, what does that mean? Like, what would being 20 pounds, 5 pounds, 10 pounds lighter mean? And then you get a real why.
Right.
Right? And then attached to those whys, you have to unpack what are the habits. So if you want to lose 20 pounds, what habits would a person, because sometimes they do actually need to lose 20 pounds to be healthy.
Yeah.
So it's not always a bad thing to need to lose weight. I do believe that as well. But what are the habits that a person 20 pounds lighter than you are would have to do to maintain that?
Right.
We talked about the maintain, but to actually live and function and be optimal in that space.
Right.
And if you're not willing to do those things from this day forward, maybe your why is not a real why, a deep enough why. But if you unpack it and you realize, you know what, I need to be 20 pounds lighter because I can't run with my kids.
Yeah.
Or I don't feel comfortable at the pool in my bathing suit. I feel shame.
Yes.
And that's where holistically, that's not okay. Like when a client can't like look at themselves in a mirror training, my heart breaks.
I know.
So when that transformation comes where they can look at themselves, and a client actually shared this with me earlier this week, and it was just like such a win. But it was like, to look at yourself in the mirror and not look at what's wrong, but to like celebrate what's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is so hard because as women we're just conditioned.
Are we? Like, why
so.
is it hard?
I think because when we look in the mirror, like you're saying, I mean, I think as humans, we have a negative bias, right? That's sort of part of the thing as humans. But I think that we have been conditioned that if we don't look a certain way, that we're not in shape.
Interesting. So
or
like
we're not attractive.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking in the mirror and I'll say myself, if I'm looking in the mirror and my breasts are saggy or my middle section is soft, there's a part of me that's like, oh, you're failing.
Okay. So to make that a positive,
Yeah.
like you would want to build more muscle?
Yeah, probably.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you take that observation?
And
because
do
it's all
something with it instead of just being
absolutely.
like, oh, yeah.
Like if you stay in your
To
head with
empower
it,
yourself with
to
it.
empower yourself to say, you know
Yes.
what? Like I do that. So I'm like, okay, I'm a little soft there. I need to be a little bit more disciplined with my nutrition, or I need to increase the amount of, cardiovascular training or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Like it's a self-check.
Yeah.
It's not a self-hatred.
Yes.
It's a self-love.
And I guess that's where it comes into what you said, like, how bad do you want it? Like,
Yeah.
what is your why?
What is your why?
Yeah.
And also what do you want to improve?
Right.
So I'm a very visual person. So I like
Yes.
to see examples, which is why I think it's so important. Again, if you want to get in shape, start going to the gym where people are
In shape.
have the same goal.
Do you know what? I'm sort of segueing.
Yeah.
I had a woman in the office the other day in my studio, and she said, yeah, I've gained weight, menopause, which is what I won't say. And then she was like, yeah, I've got to get to the gym. And she said, but I want to lose weight before I go to the gym.
Right.
And I said, why? And she goes, because I'm embarrassed to go to the gym. And you were saying, like, it broke my heart.
Right.
And when I'm in the gym, we have a basement at work, but when I used to go to a gym, when I would see a heavier person on a treadmill or where I would just be like, go. Like
Right.
I was just so excited for them because they're there. They're trying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. And I think too, using that example, if she then equipped herself
Yeah.
with saying, I am non-negotiably going to lace up my sneakers and I am going to go for a walk for 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're not there, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Every day. Non-negotiable.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Then what that does is you have not broken a promise to yourself.
Yes.
So that is the key thing, is that habits are formed, good, or I won't call them bad, desirable habits or undesirable habits are formed by repeating them.
Yes.
So the more times you say, I'm going to start on Monday, and you don't,
yes,
the more you're saying, it's okay to lie to myself.
Right.
That's why you feel shame.
Right.
That's why you feel disappointment. And in that example, you should. Like, if you had a friend and they always lied to you.
Yeah.
Would they be your friend?
No.
Right?
Yeah.
If you had a friend who said, "Hey, you want to go for a walk tomorrow night?" And you say, "Yeah, sure, I'd love that." And then you lace up, you're waiting, they don't show.
Yeah.
First, you might think, "Oh, wow, are they okay?"
Yes.
You call them, "Everything okay?" "Oh, yeah, I just didn't feel like it." You'd be like, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
But people do that to themselves.
Yes.
And then wonder why they don't trust themselves.
Yeah.
Right? Like, same thing with dietary habits. A lot of times it's very easy to be on good behavior, eat well when you are around other people who know that you're trying to eat healthy.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you're by yourself.
Yes.
When no one's looking.
Watching. Yeah.
That you are then doing it for them instead of you.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, they don't care.
I know.
They don't care whether or not you eat a salad or a burger.
Yeah.
And we think that they do. And so we give away that power instead of going, no, I know that I want to have more energy. I do want to, whatever the goals might be, but health-centered goals.
Yeah.
That make sense.
Yeah.
Then you have to then not break that promise until you achieve that goal. And then you can decide, you know what, this is for me or this is not for me.
Yes. Well, and I like what you said at the beginning where it's adding.
It's adding. It's what are you gaining?
Yes. And I remember listening to this woman in the US, her podcast. She's a fitness woman. I can't remember her name. But she shared a story of one of her clients who was saying oh, we're going to sell our house and get a bungalow. And she was like, oh, how come? And she goes, well, we don't want stairs to be an issue when we get older.
Right.
And she was like, what? And she said, well, why don't you start doing the work now so that stairs will never be an issue?
So that stairs will be your exercise.
So stairs will be your exercise. But I remember when she said that, I was like, whoa, because that's what people do. It's like, oh, that might be difficult, so we just remove it.
Right.
And then that does affect your quality of life. So instead, what can you do so that those stairs will never be an issue for you?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's adding on, which
Absolutely.
would be adding on squats or whatever it is to do.
So often we sort of like taper down and die before we're dead.
Yeah.
And then wonder why we feel dead.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Instead of like adding
or
life.
like I'm too old to do that or these things.
Yeah, I don't buy the age card either.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. So let's talk about weights. So I just want to go back to is it possible to spot reduce?
What do you mean by spot reduce?
So you know how if you, like for me, for example, if I think people have an area, like some women, let's say it's their hips or their butt or their stomach or whatever. So if I was like, oh, I really want to target my abdomen, can you do that? Like, could you just work on that? Or it's like a whole thing?
So I'm going to stay with the same theme of it's not like reduction, it's adding. Yes, you can add strength to your glutes if you want to gain firmer, tighter, perkier glutes.
Yes.
So that would not be spot reduction, but that's target training.
So the reason I'm at, because I find a lot of women with menopause, they talk about that sort of the middle area.
That's diet.
That's diet.
That's diet. And in my experience, that's sleep. That is recovery. So if we were to say pillars of health, I'll think of pillars of health as like fitness, nutrition, recovery.
Fitness, nutrition, recovery. Okay.
Okay. So fitness is moving your body.
Yeah.
Obviously, nutrition is not just what are you eating, but what are you absorbing?
Okay.
And that's a big one because if you just go by a food label, and it says 20 grams of protein, 15 grams of carbohydrates, 8 grams of fat, you'd be like, okay, that's like balance. That looks good. If you don't have adequate digestive enzymes, you are not able to absorb the nutrients on that label.
Okay.
Right? And if it's on a label, chances are it's ultra processed.
Right.
So again, is your body able to assimilate actual nutrients from that product versus like a whole food?
Right.
Right? So it is really important. Nutrition, it's not what you eat, it's what you absorb. And what you absorb not only through a fork, but through your environment.
Yes.
So things like plastics, and so like environmental estrogens, chemicals, skincare products.
Yes.
Right? Our skin is our largest showing organ.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's really important to say, okay, how do I optimize what my body is absorbing nutrient-wise?
So do you feel then if you're healthy, that so I have a friend of mine she's extremely healthy and she has a lot of gut issues and she went to her naturopath and then the food that she was eating, like she would eat like a lot of oatmeal and eggs. They were like, just let's remove that and just see what happened. They removed it and her stomach issues went away. So my question is, the more that you understand your body, the cleaner you are, I think you know when something is off with your body.
Yes.
So what about where somebody, like let's say you could eat oatmeal or oats and I can't because I have a reaction to it?
So it could be a plethora of things. Because the other pillar, just to finish that thought, was the recovery piece.
Okay.
So recovery piece is really what Peter Attia and all the people that you mentioned really are diving into, of like sleep.
Yes.
Like people think that nutrition and fitness are the most important for longevity and health. Recovery, your body's ability to recover from the stressors that you put on it from your workout, are more important than how much stress you put on your body.
Yes.
Because it's only during recovery that you are building.
Okay.
So your workout is breaking down your body.
Yeah.
If you do not get adequate recovery, then you can't build a layer of muscle on top of that. So that's really, and that's where you can get actual chronic stress or overtraining. And if you were to speak with that, woman that you said has that midsection, there's a thing called biosignature. Charles Poliquin developed this biosignature, which is a 12-point skin fold. measure.
Right.
And each point correlates with a function of our body. So whether it's very fascinating, but it also helps to like dial in. So for instance, the subscap area over your shoulder blade.
Yes.
If you have inflammation on that area, or if you have that, ladies would know it as like the back fat that hangs over the bra strap when you know that's inflamed, that's an indication that you are not breaking down carbohydrates efficiently. So if you don't break down carbohydrates efficiently, then you would do well on a lower carb diet.
Right.
But if you do metabolize carbohydrates efficiently, then you don't need to go on a low carb diet.
Right.
And that's where nutrition is so individualized. So if you were speaking about the midsection, that is stress. That's your stress zone. So if you take your side fold, that is cortisol.
Yes.
Right? So cortisol, how does that rise? Well, think of all of the things we were inundating with stress-wise, right? Electronics, 5G networks. But the big thing is lack of sleep.
Yeah.
So people wear like lack of sleep as a badge of honor.
Yes.
And being busy. So if you're like, hey, how are you, Helen? Oh, I'm so busy.
That drives me nuts when people like, I don't know why, but people, oh, I'm busy. It's like, okay, like you're right. It's like a badge of honor.
Busy doesn't mean productive.
Yeah.
And I actually took in 2025, like New Year time, I was like, I'm actually taking the word busy out of my vocabulary because I caught myself doing it. Like I'm so busy.
Yeah.
But that instantly sends a cortisol spike.
Yes.
Instantly, stress hormone. So I now say I'm full because my schedule is full.
Yeah.
But full is because I chose it.
Yes.
Busy is because
it's happening to you.
Yes.
Yes.
So I think that's really, so neurolinguistics are so important in this whole conversation of like, it's how you frame it because every single cell in our body responds to what we think.
Yes.
Which is where in holistic wellness, the spiritual piece is fundamentally probably the most important.
Yeah.
For longevity of your journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Wayne Dyer, who I loved. I loved him, but he was like, what follows I am. So it's like,
so
I'm
good.
tired.
Yep. Yes, you are.
Right?
Yep.
So, yeah.
But that's the same dialogue references to like when women are having this conversation and this like marketing plans, and marketing is my background. So I know that this is a marketing plan being thrown at us that we are going to feel this, and this because we no longer have a menstrual cycle is insane.
Yes.
It's insane. So yes, there are hormonal changes that happen in life.
Yeah.
But menopause is when your menstrual cycle stops.
Yeah.
And yes, there are things for men and women that shift as we age because cellular health diminishes unless you provide an environment in which they are healthier.
Yes.
So like cellular health is so important. So that's where you talk about things like sauna use or cold plunging or red light therapies or and that's where exercise is such a fundamental must because that's creating circulation.
Yes.
So it's wherever you have lack of circulation is where dis-ease begins. And dis-ease turns into disease because it's pooling. And that's where muscle is so important over adipose tissue or fat because you can't flex fat. Fat is a holding cell for toxin. So if you have stagnant cell adipose tissue that can't flex, and if you go into like Peter Thiel really, breaks it down in a scientific way, but sometimes that's overwhelming. So to really simplify it, you can't flex fat.
Yeah.
But you can flex muscle.
Yes.
So muscle creates circulation. If you have inflammation, so chronic inflammation is the precursor to all dis-ease. And it's actually a defense mechanism that our body, when healthy, miraculously has to say, hey, there's something wrong here.
Yeah.
But we take an ibuprofen to numb that pain.
Yes.
That's the problem. So that's where it's like, no, you have to feel the discomfort.
Yeah.
And then address it.
Yeah.
And then support it.
Yes. when you talk about discomfort, even with that, a lot of people after they work out, or if they're like, oh, my knee hurts, I'm not going to work out. And I think of when it used to be when people get hip replacements or they were in hospital for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now they're like, get up, move.
Yeah.
And because that helps us recover. And there's a difference between something being comfortable and painful and then that pain that like, oh no, you should listen to that.
Yes.
So can we talk about that? Like, what is the pain of like obviously if your back is pulled out, that's a pain you want to listen to?
So yeah, so I mean, to answer that, the perception of pain, and this is a funny, I'll use this reference because this is a little, can I share a little story?
Yeah, of course.
So a little over a week ago, I was in the kitchen and I should not have been multitasking of watching like a Christmas movie while using my Japanese steel. I don't even remember. Okay. They're all the same. Hallmark something. Big city guys, whatever. And the mandolin sliced off my finger pad.
Yes.
And so it was not pleasant. And so I stopped the bleeding and it was gone. Like I picked the finger pad up off the counter. It was gone. So I was like, I'm not going to go and sit in the emerge room.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to stitch.
Yeah.
And it's not bleeding through this. I'm going to be fine.
Yes.
Right? I'm fine.
Yeah.
So I then realized the first layer of my first aid attempt, I had put like a gauze that sticks to the wound, not the one that doesn't. And I thought, probably not good. So I put it under the water to remove that one, to put a non-adherent one on and rewrap it. And when I did that, of course,
starts bleeding
again. So I did the second aid attempt and it just wouldn't stop bleeding.
Yeah.
So it finally stopped bleeding enough that because my husband was actually at work and he came home and he's like, oh my goodness. He was like, are you okay? Do you want to just leave it? I said, there's no sense in sitting in the emergency room. And that's the state of our healthcare system. You're not going to go there for 12 hours when you can just. So I went to bed because it wasn't bleeding through. And about an hour and a half later, I woke up and I felt nauseous and I looked down and it had bled through the bandaging.
Okay.
And you know that feeling like your face gets tight before you pass out?
Yes.
Have you ever had that feeling?
Yeah.
So I literally kind of like person like, I think I better go. So I woke up my husband. I was like, babe, my arms feel kind of heavy and my face, like my lips were like puckered like this. I think maybe I lost more blood than I thought. Maybe we should go to Emerge.
Wow.
So we go to Emerge. It didn't look that busy. The nurse that checks you in to check the thing takes off the bandage to look at it. And sure enough, it's still bleeding.
Yeah.
So it was bleeding for about 6 hours.
That's a lot.
Like on and off, obviously.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she then says, I was like, is there a point there's nothing to stitch here. She bandaged it. It stopped bleeding. She's like, I still would see a doctor. And I was like, okay, like, what do you think the wait's going to be? But then she looks at this poster and she said, how much pain are you in? And I was like, what do you mean? And she pointed at a poster that had 10 emoji faces, everything from like 1 to 10, not pain. And I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm here at midnight.
Yes.
But I'm not dying. And she's like, well, you have to pick a number.
Ooh.
And I'm like, I don't know, like a 4?
Okay.
And meanwhile, she's like, let's say a 5. I'm like, okay. So she tells me I'm a 5.
Yeah.
I take the 5 ticket. I go back out to the waiting room. And long story short, I was the only one with an open cut in the waiting room of probably 20 or so people at this time. But everyone else obviously said a 10. And the ranking, I was, after waiting for several hours, I had 2 people that were in front of me and then it should have been my name. And she comes back out and she said, I'm going to do a little roll call here. And she calls everyone's name, but doesn't call my name. And I'm looking at the guy who had just got the can of Coke and a bag of chips from the vending machine, waiting for his number to be called. And he's before me. But he said he was a 10.
Right.
I said I was a 4. And so I looked at my husband and I was like, what? He was like, because you said you were a 4.
Right.
And I thought about it for a minute. And I looked back and I said, but I'm not a 10.
Yeah.
I'm not a 10. And the problem is if I said that this cut on my finger was a 10,
you would have been in sooner.
God's going to show me what a 10 is. I was a 4.
Yeah.
So with my 4,
Yeah.
I told her that we are going to go home, which we did.
Yeah.
And
you're fine.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
But I use that example because we are so often told we are a 10 of discomfort.
Right.
When, if you really think about it, if no one else was in the room and you had to first aid yourself, you are your first aid.
Yes.
Everything else is a second, third, fourth, fifth aid.
Yes.
But we give our first aid to everyone else but ourselves.
Right.
And so I think it's really important to answer your question. No, if you, like, I rehabbed my knee. It was in such pain that I could not perform a squat without pain, and it's a bad pain.
Yes.
But a good pain is when you tear the muscle and you recover it. So from a workout, if you work out, you should not still be sore like 48 hours after.
Okay.
Right? If you're still sore 72 hours after a workout, you have to look at your recovery pillar.
Okay.
So are you getting enough sleep? Are you getting enough water? And are you absorbing appropriate nutrients? Protein being the nutrient that is going to repair muscle tissue.
And could the pain also be that maybe you went to, like I did that a little while ago. I was doing lunges and squats and all this stuff. And then I couldn't even lower myself on the toilet. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Right.
And then
That's muscle. That's good
muscle.
pain.
That's good pain.
That's good pain.
Right. But is it ever, if it lasts longer, like maybe you went too hard? Like if you're starting out, like if somebody's just starting out going like, okay, I need to work out. I need to build up muscle. They don't go from 0 to 100.
I remember a leg workout when I was preparing for, when I was in bodybuilding and I was preparing, and I had a stick shift and I drove from like Queen and Yonge over to Leslieville in second gear because it hurt too much. Like I literally slowed down at the stoplight, started in second instead of first so that I didn't have to shift gears more than twice.
Right.
So was that an extreme workout? Yes. Did I live? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what builds resiliency.
Yeah.
Like the amount that you gain, like working out, showing up when you don't feel like it.
Yes.
Is the only way that you are getting stronger.
Yes.
If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you.
Yeah. Yeah. So what about people listening? So I think my age demographic with this are probably like 40 and older.
Yes.
So what would you say if somebody's listening to this and they're like, okay, I want to start to, eat better. I want to start to work out. How would you suggest doing that? Like, let's talk about the fitness part first. If someone's like I don't know anything about, I just sort of go online and go, okay, that's what you're supposed to do. And I do it. But if somebody doesn't have the money for a trainer or, doesn't want to go to a gym, what are things that they can do to sort of start?
That's really individual. Like, are they starting from 0? Like they're doing nothing right now?
Let's just say nothing. Yeah. I mean, I don't know many people who aren't doing nothing, but
there's a lot of people that are doing
really?
Well, there are 78% of Canadians
that do nothing
are obese.
Right.
So they're not doing enough.
Yeah.
Because the other thing is that keystone habit and the power of habit. Have you read that book?
Yeah.
That's a great book, right?
Yes.
So the author of that book mentioned, like, if there were 3 habits to build, the first one that's giving you your best return on investment is exercise.
Yeah.
And that's from like the guru of habit building. And the reason why is the trickle effect. So if you work out in the morning, especially on a morning you don't feel like it, your lunch is going to be healthier that day.
Yes. Because it's true, like it's all sort of connected. Like if you're working out and taking care of your body, you're not going to want to eat that cheeseburger. It's
Yes. Right. So that would be the key thing is if you're not doing anything, do something.
Yeah.
And then, really look at what you're willing to invest in. So when you say like someone can't afford a trainer or someone can't afford to go to a gym and that person drinks.
Yeah.
Your why is not important enough.
Okay. You're hardcore. I love it.
But the thing is, I'm honest.
Yes.
Like I could pacify it. And it's not to say that there aren't going to be days. It's not like you have to enjoy it.
Yes.
But at the beginning, you won't.
No, it's called work. out,
right?
right?
No,
It's work
but
at
it
first.
is discipline, because
Yeah.
discipline is the only way to freedom,
Okay.
right? Especially for someone who is doing like nothing.
Yeah.
Do something,
Yeah.
right? For some people, they like the camaraderie of a group environment. So just invest in yourself,
I agree.
right? There's a really great book that I just finished called The 5 Types of Wealth.
Oh, okay.
Very, very good.
Okay.
And it basically breaks down the fact that most people, like society in general,
Yeah.
we quantify wealth as how much money we have. That is wealth. But it's actually our physical wealth,
Yeah.
our time wealth. Like, do you have control over
Yes.
your time, right? But the fact that the physical part, without your health, it does not matter how much wealth you have.
Yes.
So if you're using like your time, a very common excuse is I don't have the time.
Yes.
If you do not make time for your health, you will have to make time for illness. You
That's
will.
so good. Yeah.
But unfortunately,
Yes.
it's until you actually have it happen to you or to someone really close to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And even then.
Yeah. Well, I remember because I was a smoker. I loved smoking.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. And I remember I was a bit more of a social smoker, but I knew I had to quit. I'm like, oh, I'll quit. I'll quit. And then I have a lung disease. I got diagnosed. I was in Emerge. I was in hospital and all this stuff. So I have a chronic lung disease. Quit smoking right away.
Right.
Done. Didn't even think about it.
So it was really interesting of what you just said is that you were a social smoker.
Yeah.
That circles back to what you surround yourself with.
Yes. Yeah.
Is so key.
Okay, I'm going to hang out with you so I can have a body like yours.
But that will happen.
Yeah. Yes.
But that is the truth.
Yeah.
That will happen.
It is. It rubs off on you.
So oftentimes when you are trying to let go of a habit that's not serving you well, or you're trying to release weight that is excess on your body, you cannot hang out with some people in your circle that have, like, we all have people, unfortunately, that like us better with a limp because they can keep up to that.
Yeah.
And as soon as you empower yourself and you take control of the only person who can take control of it and create results, whether it's disciplining to go to the gym, eating better, and they're like, oh, just have one, or not drinking. That is absolutely insane. That you have to, defend yourself with some sort of like ailment to say that you're not drinking. And so,
and I have, I don't drink. I've been sober.
I don't drink either.
For 10 years. And I'll have people that want to hang out with me and go out with me because I don't drink.
Right.
And so they're not tempted to drink.
Right.
And I'm always like, well, just don't drink. And they're like, no, but then everybody's like, oh, why aren't you drinking? And
but you know what? Say thank you. I am so thankful that I am that person for other people.
Yes.
Because it's the me too that you are empowering in them.
Yep.
Right? And so that's how that becomes the new norm.
Yes.
And so it's also language, like neurolinguistically. If someone if someone listening or watching wants to stop drinking. When someone offers you a drink, rather than saying, no, thank you, or I don't want a drink, say, I don't drink.
Yes.
That identity piece is how, and oftentimes people think, oh, they must be like a recovering alcoholic. It's not your responsibility to explain it to them.
Well, that's so funny because when I quit drinking, I don't think I'm sure if alcoholics would say, I don't think I was an alcoholic, but I had a problem with drinking. And I'm very open about it. I post about like on my anniversaries. And I remember a friend said to me, like, that's a lot of personal information like you put out there. And I said, well, one, it holds me accountable. And I said, and two, when I decided to quit drinking, I was looking for people who weren't drinking. I was online Googling like what celebrities, what people that I know that don't drink, because it encouraged me. Because you have this idea of what, someone who has a drinking problem or a drug problem looks like. And then all of a sudden I see like, oh, Elle Macpherson has a drinking problem. This person, they don't drink. And all of a sudden it normalizes it.
Right.
So I think it is like where you're saying that Me Too is so important.
It's so important because it just empowers.
Yes.
It's like, how can you empower others.
Yeah.
And when you do that, it will come back to you in an area, like again, on a day that maybe you would be tempted, then it holds you up
It's
to,
accountable.
it makes you accountable. It creates
Yeah.
community. It's collaboration, right?
I'm always amazed though at how many women, I have a friend of mine who's a nutritionist, and when women come to her to lose weight,
Mhm.
she'll, sort of look at their diet and everything. And she said, over the age of 40, you should not be, I mean, right now, nobody should be drinking, right? But she was saying, you should not have more than 2 glasses of wine a week.
Right.
How many women are like, I can't do that?
Right.
That's like the big, okay, it's amazing what an obstacle that is.
And they might not be ready to do that.
Yeah.
And so it's when they say, I can't do that, as a coach, you have to hear them and meet them where they are.
Yeah.
And then again, focus on what they can do.
Right.
Okay, well, if you add in your working out, your body is going to tell you you don't want the drink, because often that drink is a coping mechanism to relax.
Yeah.
Well,
or
guess
for
what?
stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when you know that exercise and breathe, same thing with like smoking.
Yeah.
Exercise is such an effective way to help someone stop smoking, because
you suck it all back in.
But no, that inhale
Yeah.
is a huge part of the addiction.
Yeah.
Well, when you are in a HIIT class working out, you are satisfying that body's need.
Yeah.
Right? But without the chemical and the harm to it.
Yeah.
So it's, again, you don't really break habits. You replace them with ones that serve you.
Yeah.
And that's really a key thing, because if you focus on what you don't want, it's not if, but when. In a fatigue state, you can cave into that.
Yes.
But if you replace it, your mind's too busy.
Yeah.
And so whatever you focus on is what's going to manifest and build. So it's important, and depending on what type of person you are, again, if visual, put some notes up to remind yourself. Put it as your screensaver on your phone. Do whatever you have to do to remind yourself. I had one screensaver that it's do not break promises to yourself.
Yeah.
As a reminder to myself.
Yes.
So if I said I was going to do something,
you're going to do it.
I'm going to do it. And then I can decide if I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
But if I said I'm going to do it, and the other key thing is make those goals and commitments, set your intention when your mind is cold, not hot.
Explain.
Okay. So when we are in a hot state, you're fired up.
Right.
You are feeling your feelings. You're in your feelings. You are not going to make a sound decision.
Right.
But when you are in a cool state, you are of sound mind, you are well rested. So a perfect example would be of the night before, set out your workout clothes, lie them out.
Right.
Okay. If it's a real challenge, put them in the doorway of your bedroom that you have to consciously step over the intention you set the day before to ignore the promise you made to yourself.
Yeah.
Right? So remind yourself what you said to yourself.
Okay.
As opposed to what other people tell you should do. That's helpful.
Yeah.
That's coaching. So, as a coach, if you know you're not going to show up, hire a coach.
Yeah.
Because you're going to keep, or pair up with a friend who is a friend that is already in the habit you want to build.
So it's that accountability.
It's the accountability with a person. If it's an outside person, make sure they're already doing the thing you want to build.
Okay.
Don't pick another person who also can't right now get out of bed.
Yeah, or if you call and go, I'm too tired. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Let's
You
go
don't
back
want
to sleep.
you want that person who's like, they already have it as a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I guess it's also too creating that habit. It's creating that habit in the brain too, like you're rewiring.
Absolutely.
Right? So, and could it be then don't set unrealistic expectations? Like,
what do you mean by that?
So what I mean by that, where if it's like, okay, I'm going to work out 7 days a week, where like maybe start with like, okay, let's work out 4 days a week, and then have like heavy working out, doing weights, let's say. And then the other days a week, we walk for 30 minutes. So that, because sometimes we can set ourselves up for failure too.
Well, I think you have to, and that's where a coach is helpful, because where did you pick the number of I should work out 4 days a week, 7 days a week, 2 days a week, 8, right?
Well, because we don't know any, I feel like there's so much information about food. And because I feel that we've lost touch with what our body needs. And so I think when we take the time, like I meditate every morning and I listen to my body and I listen to what it needs. But I think even with food that it's like, go on this diet, eat this, eat that we've become so like we don't trust ourselves anymore. We're trusting what everybody else is saying.
With nutrition, what's important is to understand your body's response to the foods that you're eating. So I think one of the most empowering measuring tools that everyone should endure is a constant glucose monitor.
Oh.
So and that is the reaction. So I will have a constant glucose monitor. And when you see a constant glucose monitor, so basically it's like the little patch.
Yeah, the white thing.
Right.
And usually it's diabetics.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, what is diabetes?
Sugar. Isn't it? Like your insulin.
It's dysregulated glucose.
Right.
Right? So diabetes, so we'll say, so there's type 1 and type 2.
Yeah.
So we'll address type 2.
Yeah.
So type 2 is one you created with your lifestyle habits.
Yes.
With your lifestyle habits.
Lifestyle. Okay.
Right? And that's an important key because when you wear a constant glucose monitor, what you discover is obvious. If you eat sugar, your sugars are going to rise, right? But you also realize that bread gives you a glucose spike as large as having a tablespoon of sugar.
Right.
Because it's ultra processed probably, but all the things, right?
Yeah.
So it helps you to identify, okay, when I have a non-impact high fiber carbohydrate, vegetables, right? Where the fiber is higher than the sugar, my glucose levels are stable. So when your glucose levels are stable, your energy is stable. When your energy is stable, you have more energy because you're not
spiking,
right? But the other thing is that the only way to naturally balance our hormones is by balancing our blood sugars.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to say that again.
Yeah.
The only way we naturally balance our hormones is by balancing our blood sugars. That is the precursor. Dysregulated glucose is the precursor to all of Peter Attia's 4 horsemen.
Oh.
Okay.
So can you get one of those if you're not really?
So now you can.
Okay.
It was only a year ago in July that you can go to your pharmacy counter.
Yeah.
And you can purchase a constant glucose monitor. There are 2 brands. So there's I'll recommend the and I'm not affiliated with them, but I recommend it because it's a 14-day monitor.
Yeah.
It's Freestyle, so it's by Abbott. It's a Freestyle 2. It connects to your phone, so you see your constant glucose levels.
Yeah.
And it also has the journal ability. So you have to so if you want to do an honest food journal and an honest exercise journal, you can't retroactively enter the journal. So I love it with my clients because it tethers to my phone. So I have all my clients on my phone. So I'm like, what did you have at 9 p.m.? Because when 12 o'clock in the morning, their glucose levels are spiking and then dropping and then wondering why they wake up fatigued in the morning, it's because all night they were on an EKG roller coaster of glucose regulation or dysregulation.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a way of going, okay, it's instant feedback of what your habits are doing. And so what's empowering about it is it helps to monitor portion sizes. So it's not to say that any food is good or bad is a really slippery slope.
Yeah.
Right? I will say ultra-processed food is not food.
Yes.
So that's not good or bad. It's not food. It's an ultra-processed product. But when you're talking about food, it's really important to reprogram good and bad. They all do something.
Yeah.
And is it bringing you towards your goal or is it bringing you further away from your goal?
Okay.
Right? So with your portion control, if you have, so for instance, if I were to have some, potato or sweet potato as a carbohydrate with a meal or I'll use bread as an example. If I have a slice of sourdough bread with my eggs, some avocado, some goat cheese, and I have that and my glucose elevates by like 2 points. So I'm at a 4.5. I eat, it goes up 2 points and gently comes back down. Right? that's balance. If I had 2 slices or 3 slices of bread or I had 2 slices of bread with jam on it, no protein, my glucose would go up to like a 10 or 12. So then there's no, is this diet good or bad?
Right. Your body's telling you. Right.
Yeah. This food was lacking fiber. It was lacking protein. There were too many carbohydrates. So then the next day, to have 1 piece instead of 2 pieces. And then to address like your question about your friend with the oatmeal, maybe they had too much oatmeal.
Right.
Right? You don't need 2 cups of porridge. You probably only need 1/3 of a cup.
Right.
So it helps to customize for your energy output, how much energy you need to be inputting.
That's so fascinating.
It's really fascinating, as well as like exercise. So glucose to help stabilize your glucose levels, going for a walk after a larger meal will significantly blunt the spike because your body is using the glucose you just ate.
Yes.
And if you don't use it at that point, then it gets stored as stored energy. And if you have a surplus of stored energy, it gets stored in fat. And fat can't flex. So that's how you get excessive fat storage, is because you didn't utilize that fuel that you consumed.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a really fascinating tool.
Wow. You just brought us full circle. So we've run out of time. Okay. Thank you so much. This is fascinating. I would love, what I would love to do is have you on do like a call-in.
Sure.
Because you're so good at like answering the questions and the fact, it's you. It's in you.
It is.
Right?
It is. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
This was fascinating. To our listeners now, where can people find you?
So getfitlicious.com is my website. Instagram, I'm probably most active on. So it's at getfitlicious.
Okay.
At getfitlicious everywhere.
Okay, great. Yeah. And I will have that in the show notes. With this conversation, take what resonated with you, leave what doesn't, and just keep moving towards your truth. Until next time.